Yep, what's good? Just want to make a quick video on me summarizing trading in the zone because reading Trading in the Zone is one of the best things I could have ever done to improve my trading. So just want to make a video summarizing the main points, how it helped, and how I apply these to my day-to-day life. So the primary idea that this book shares is like learning how to trade without fear. And in order to do this, you have to learn how to think in probabilities, remove expectations, understand that the market is neutral, and also that everything is your fault. That's all your responsibility. So this book is pretty easy to read. It's like a quick read depending on how fast you read, I guess. But yeah, it's easy to follow through. It gives you good steps and it's just like easy to communicate. Compared to the discipline trader, this one is much better. If you know Travis Scott, I would say Trading in the Zone is like Rodeo or like just any of his newer albums. And then the discipline trader is kind of like Owl Pharaoh kind of thing. It's like unpolished, but then Trading in the Zone is more polished, more formulated kind of thing. The ideas are still like there, like unique, but I feel like in Trading in the Zone, it's just more easy to follow, more easy to just understand what's going through his mind. So number one, thinking in probabilities. So for me, when I first started trading, when I first got into like the trading space and everything, I first bought TGR's bootcamp, but other things I would see, I would be seeing things like, yo, you need to think in probabilities, you need to think this, you need to think that. And at the time, I didn't really know what that meant. All I would think about was just like, yo, thinking back to grade 4, I was like, yo, we'd flip a coin and it'd be like heads or tails, and like 50% of the time it'll be heads and 50% of the time it'll be tails, right? And I thought that this was like a bit too simple for trading, because in my mind, trading was something that was like super complicated. Trading was like some mysterious thing. And like, there's no way that trading is actually this simple. There's no way that I could associate this simple definition of probabilities to trading. But for me right now, honestly, that's like honestly how I think about it. Honestly, but that's just how I think of it right now. I just gotta think, I gotta understand, like that was the hardest shift for me. I gotta understand that there's gonna be a random outcome, like how we flip a coin. But in the long term, my edge will play out. Like 50% heads or tails. In my case, it'll be a winning, a winning percentage of trades will win, like a higher percentage of trades will win, and then a higher percentage of trades will lose. And you just got to be able to go through that and just not get affected. That's what thinking probabilities means to me. You just got to be able to be patient, wait for the steps to come, don't mess up with the steps when you're in them, and just let them play out. And you'll just eventually, if your strategy is profitable, you'll end up winning more than losing. And I had to go through the experience. I had to win some, I had to lose some, and I just had to go through without changing my risk percentage, without messing up, like cutting positions too early kind of thing. Just got to be patient, stick through the process, and understand that in the end, the probabilities should be in your favor. You'll win more than you lose. And this is honestly the shifting point for me, because when I saw that I was winning more than I was losing, I was like, yo, trading actually makes sense now. Like, I just got to be patient for the long term, and then in the end, I will end up winning more than I lose. You have to just accept that you don't know what's going to happen next. Anything can happen in these markets. You just got to be patient for those setups to come, bro. Like, just be patient. That's like the main issue for me. I was impatient, I was undisciplined, I was forcing trades out of nothing, and that would cause me to lose more than I would win. And I would think this trading thing is a scam. But after just being patient for this right setups to come, that's when you understand that, yo, my setup will play out in the long term. You just gotta remember that you gotta be rigid in your rules, but fluid in your expectations. That's what I remember, and that's what's been helping me the most. Cause like the markets move based on what people believe to be high or low. So you can't really understand what people are thinking, because there's so many different people interacting with the markets, and there's people on the sidelines too. So you can't really expect to know what those people are all thinking and how the price will move. So you just gotta remember just to be fluid in your expectations, but rigid in your rules. So yeah, that's thinking probabilities. Number 2 is removing expectations. So expectations can kill you in trading. Like, they killed me a lot. Like, my whole day would be bummed out just because of the expectations I held to with trading. Like for me, when I got into the charts for NY Open, in the back of my mind, I would be expecting like, yo, I'm gonna be able to take a trade. Yo, I'm gonna be able to make progress on my fund account. And if I didn't take a trade, I would feel a bit more like emotionally down. And through the days, every day that I felt more bummed out, it would just build up some negative emotion, and I would just feel some negative emotion, and I would just end up lashing out one day. I'd end up like, bro, this trading shit is so boring, bro, and then I'd just end up taking a bad setup, and I would lose that trade, and I'd be like, fuck, man, this shit sucks, I want to fucking quit this shit, and then I'd just freaking crash out, and everything would go bad, and then I'd freaking overtrade, and I'd be like, oh my god, bro, I'd freaking goon, and I'd just feel like shit, bro. It's not good. Another expectation I'd have is I would place a trade, but then I would expect for it to win, and then when it lost, I would crash out. I would feel so bad. I would be like, bro, I thought this shit was gonna hit. I thought this shit was gonna hit. I'm due for a win. I'm due for a win. And then when I didn't hit, I would just be like, bro, fuck this shit, bro. I would be like, bro, this shit don't make sense anymore. And that, like, by having that expectation for each trade to win, it's just adding unnecessary emotional like toll to the trade. Each trade should be taken not that deep. Like, bro, you take a trade and you don't take a trade, and that's what I used to do in my mind, and that's like helped me like care less about trading. Because when I started to care less about trading, that's when I started seeing more results from my trading. I'm not successful yet, but I feel like I have like made so much progress since like February or January. Because in February or January, I would be so down bad. I would be like, my life would depend if the trade won or lost. But now it's like, I don't really care. I could get in and get out of trades and I wouldn't care too much anymore. And that just comes from not having the expectation to win, not having the expectation to lose, just having an expectation that anything can happen in these markets, bro. That's like the main thing. So the number three lesson is like, the markets, you just gotta understand that the markets are not out there to get you. Like, the markets are just a reflection of what you see like in your own mind. That's what Douglas said, I'm pretty sure. He was like the markets are just a reflection of what's in here. And that hit hard for real. But like, the main idea that he's teaching is that you got to understand that the markets are not out to get you. The market doesn't know what your bias is. The market doesn't know what you're looking at. The market doesn't know like what points you want to hit. And just understanding that the market does not give a shit about what I'm thinking made me have like less of a attachment to what I wanted the market to do. Because the market can do anything, bro. That's literally one of like the main lessons, bro. The market can do anything, and it's just your edge has to be probable in whatever the market does. Like, the market is just there, bro. Like, Douglas also says this, I'm pretty sure he's like, so it's like the market is just like a river of opportunities. So you can choose when to get into the market, like the river. You could choose when to get out of the river, the market, or you could choose how much you want to go into the river or the market, like how heavy your position is. The market does not force you to the market does not force you to do anything. It's all in your mind. The way you perceive the information, the way you act on that information is all in your beliefs. It's not anyone else's beliefs. It's not anyone else's thoughts. It's just everything is what you think, what you perceive as high, what you perceive as low, what you perceive as a good opportunity, and what you perceive as a bad opportunity. It's all your choice, not the market. The market is just there. It's just giving you information. You just have to make the right decision to act upon it. Whatever actions you take, you have to assume full responsibility for them. And that kind of brings me into point number 4, which is discipline. It is with the understanding that the market is objective and that's completely your responsibility, it becomes more clear that everything you do is all on your shoulders. Like, all of your actions, the only thing that you can control is yourself. And this is why discipline is so important. It's like the small things that will determine if you find success in trading. It's just the way you live your life. Like, what I realized is, because I just went to Sri Lanka, right? I don't know why I keep on bringing it up, but bro, I was living an undisciplined lifestyle. I would say I would record all these videos, but I would end up not recording the videos. I just end up slacking off and just saying I'll do it later, right? And that undisciplined lifestyle showed out in my trading, because I tried trading one day and I ended up entering on impatience, entering on boredom, entering because I wanted dopamine, and that just goes to show that when I was living an undisciplined lifestyle, I was being undisciplined on the charts. You can't expect to be disciplined on the charts if you're not living an undisciplined life. If you're living an undisciplined lifestyle, you can't just expect to switch your mindset from one part of your life to the other. I remember in TGI's bootcamp, he said that as well. In discipline, you have to be living a disciplined lifestyle, and then that disciplined lifestyle will reflect on the charts, and that's how you become disciplined and successful in trading. That's what I took some time to realize, but I ended up being disciplined in my real life, and then I started seeing more results, seeing that I could follow my plan more when on the charts, seeing I could trust myself more. Like, the main thing to build discipline is just to follow through with what you say in your mind. So throughout the day, just doing uncomfortable tasks, or just saying that you'll do something and then actually doing that, like taking action, that'll add to the belief of you being a disciplined person. Because discipline is literally just a belief system that you have to build up. You have to build that confidence in yourself to do what you say you will do. And once you know that you will say what you will do, then on the charts, you will do what you say you will do. You say that you will wait for this confluence, then you will wait for that confluence. You say that you will wait for the proper break of structure, then you will wait for that break of structure. You say you're not going to trade on high impact news, then you will not trade on high impact news. That's how discipline works, bro. That's how discipline in trading works. And you just got to be able to build that up from your real life and put it into trading. If you can't hold yourself accountable in your real life, who's going to hold you accountable in trading? because in trading you're your own boss. So you just have to be able to understand that and be accountable in your real life, and then that'll naturally come into your trading lifestyle. Like that's just me though. Like, I know I'm not saying that I'm successful in trading yet. I'm not saying that I'm freaking TGR. I'm not saying that I'm the market makers. But I just want to share what I've like learned from reading that book, what I've applied from that book, and just how I plan to become successful from applying these thoughts into my mindset. And who knows, someone might benefit, but someone might be able to benefit from this. And maybe I dumbed it down enough so that someone could understand, because I remember the first time I read this book, I was low-key confused as what was happening, what he was saying. So maybe the way I explained it was a bit dumbed down because I'm quite a retard as well. So who knows, could have helped a little bit. But yeah, that's all for today. That's all for this video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and tap into my other videos and subscribe if you're a real one.